Hello, my name is Brenda and this is Treptalk. Imagine you can distill a lifetime experience and a handful of entrepreneurial lessons that each of us can learn from. Treptalk TV series brings to you some of the world's biggest and most accomplished CEOs, billionaires, entrepreneurs, disruptors to come share with us their trek journey and have kind conversation about how that they got to the top, their failures, their success stories, their sacrifices, and how that they all achieved their goals to inspire the fast-growing community of young people. On this note, we have one of the biggest, the most accomplished entrepreneur in Nigeria. He is a speaker, a life coach, a panelist, an entrepreneur, a trainer who has in 17 years been consistently involved in the trading and manufacturing sector of the economy. His name is Pradeep Pahalwani. His friends always would call him Otunba. He got his master's degree, EMBA, from Lagos Business School LBS. He got his master's degree also, and he has undergone a lot of executive education at IESE Business School in Spain and Harvard Business School. He is a mentor to so many young entrepreneurs, and through this platform, he has been able to reach out to these young entrepreneurs through Lagos Business School Alumni Association, Faith Foundation, Tony Elumelu Foundation, and Uturn Africa. He is the Vice President of Toastmasters Lighthouse. He is an executive of IPF, that's India Professional Forum. He is a member of the Board of Director at Nigeria India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, NICCI. He is the past president of Rotary Club of Lagos Palm Grove Estate. He's actively associated with Startup Grind. So sit back with us as we bring to you an accomplished entrepreneur, life coach, and a trainer, Pradeep Pahalwani. Hello, Mr. Pradeep.
You're looking so good. It's my pleasure that I have a beautiful girl in front of me here.
Thank you, sir. You too. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
It's a big honor to be seated with one of the, most accomplished Indian-Nigerian entrepreneur.
During our discussion, we'll come across how accomplished I am. But that's the kind words from you for sure.
Wow. So, Mr. Pradeep, I want to know, share with us your trip journey. How did it all start with you as an entrepreneur?
Okay, my journey in Nigeria started 27 years back. As a coincidence, today is the 27th, anniversary or the birthday of my coming to Nigeria. That's just a coincidence.
Wow.
So I came here 27 years back. I worked for a company for 10 years. And then I thought that, I'm ready to take the entrepreneurial plunge. I'm ready to become an entrepreneur. Then I started my business, which is now 17 years back. So in that 17 years, I've done several businesses. Yes, some of them have been successful. Yes, some of them have been failures, but I have learned from that failures. And what I do in that, learning from that failures, I implement them in my new business ventures. At the same time, I use them as learning lessons and talk to the students whom I train at different platforms, whom I mentor on different platforms also.
Wow. So you've been an entrepreneur in Nigeria for 17 whooping years.
Yes.
So how has it been? What was that aha moment where you smiled and you were just happy about business?
Okay. I think if I have to pin it down to one single incident that, this was my aha moment as an entrepreneur. When the country was going through this recession a couple of years back, and I heard everybody complaining, the country is bad, economy is bad. Yes, we are going through tough times. But anybody who asked me, how is it going? I said, going is good. I said, but why are you saying it's going good? I said, on the macro level, whatever is happening, I don't have a control over it. On my own level, I'm trying my best. And what made me laugh or what give me the aha moment was when we saw our balance sheet, the company's balance sheet, we saw the volumes were doing okay. In spite of the recession, the company was doing fair enough. I mean, there was no cause to complain. We were growing. Yes, we were not growing at what we had planned, but at least there was a growth. The graph did not go down. The graph still went up, but it was not a steep one, just a slanting one. So I was happy about that. That one I can say. That instance when we sat down at the board and we saw the graph was still going up in spite of recession.
Wow.
That was a moment for me. Yes.
Wow. So that moment made you smile and you were
Yes.
just very happy.
Yes, I was.
In between 17 years, you should have, experienced a whole lot of, setbacks.
Sure.
Failed, tried so many things and you failed. So how was it? What was your major, what were the things you experienced? When did you fail? Like, how was the experience like?
Okay. Definitely, I don't think there will be any entrepreneur who has not failed, because the entrepreneur is the one who keeps on trying, then sees how it works out, and then learns from the mistakes. So the mistakes are like the investments you made in your whole process. If I need to summarize what are my learning lessons from my mistakes, there are two main ones. First, when I started a business venture, there were actually two business ventures. I started parallelly, and I failed in both of them. And what was the major cause of failure of those two businesses for me was I didn't document the partnership. I had a partnership which I didn't document. Why? One of them was my relation. One of them was my very childhood friend, like I knew him for 30 years, 40 years. So I said, what am I going to document between friends? What am I going to document between relations? So I didn't document anything between us as a partnership. So I learned from there. So whenever I get chance to speak to anybody on any platform, always tell them that first, partnerships are necessary, synergies are necessary, because there's a limit what you can do as an individual. So you have to synergize with people who bring in the expertise on that ground. But even if it's your blood brother, even if it's your blood sister, even if it's anybody whom you know so closely, this person can't fail me, document it so that both the parties know what are your roles, responsibilities, and against that roles and responsibilities, what should you expect. Same thing in that document, your own part, your own role, your own responsibility, and what are you supposed to get should be clearly defined, which I didn't do. So that was a learning lesson there. And a second learning lesson was in a business venture of mine where I did not do any research, market research. It was just my gut feeling that, okay, let me go into this business. Normally, any business you're supposed to do a research. But this particular one, I said, no, this will sell, this will go. I did not put in any efforts in terms of research. And as I put in my leg into the water, as I dived in, then I realized, oh boy,
Wow.
be hard.
Wow.
So, yes, the second advice is don't enter a business without a proper market research.
Wow.
The two mistakes are that not documenting two of the businesses and not researching on one of those businesses. So I asked myself, here you are, Pradeep. Here you are teaching entrepreneurship, and then you went into a business without researching. Why? You should have researched about that business before going into that business, so that you wouldn't have failed the way you failed. And on the same count of the not having documented the business relationship. Yeah. So when I look at it, I cry, but as a man, you're not supposed to cry. So I cry from inside. the tears are not seen, but yes, I have cried.
Wow.
Thinking about those things.
Wow. Pick something from what you said initially, and you were talking about partnering. So as an entrepreneur, you partner with other entrepreneurs, or
Yes.
you partner with other businesses. How does it work for you?
It's kind of depending on the venture you are going into.
Yeah.
So assuming you are an IT graduate and you have a business idea that you need to start up with maybe a mobile app or something, but as an IT, you may not have an acumen for HR. You may not know how to do your balance sheets and accountings and all. So what you can do is, friends can come together, form that company, and then each one will know their roles and responsibilities, whereas you as an IT expert will now focus on the technical aspect of it. That's what I mean by the partnership and the synergy.
Okay. Wow. That's a very huge motivation. At this point, we are having a very wonderful time with Mr. Pradeep, and so we'll be coming back after the short break for more questions and answers from him. Thank you very much. Yes, we are back, and we've been having, wonderful time with our guest, Mr. Pradeep. And he has, shared some of his motivating stories with us and how that he started on his Trep journey and the times he cried, the times he failed, and all. And now we want to ask, how do you define success?
How do I define success? Wow, this is a big question. In the sense, how do we put it? Okay, definitely, without reason of doubt, success for me is not measured only by money. It's not by how much money a person has made. It is how many lives have you impacted. That is one of my criteria. That's why you see me joining organizations like the Rotary Club, the Toastmasters, being part of Tony Elumelu Foundation, volunteering my time at Faith Foundation, and all the rest. Because I realized a bit late in my life about the benefits, about the satisfaction which giving back the society gives to you.
Wow.
And once I got that internal satisfaction, I got addicted to impacting people around me, giving more and more time to the society, giving back, if nothing else, my own experiences back to the society. Yes, sometimes I put in my funds also, but the Rotary principle of 4 T's: time, thought, treasure, and talent. Time, thought, treasure, and talent. So everybody should combine this one in whichever ratio. Somebody say, I don't have money and I want to do something good. There's no stumbling block. Give your thought, give an idea. Okay, why don't we do this? Apart from thought, you are talented. Maybe like you are a speaker now. So maybe you can be the MC for the event. That's your talent. You're giving back to the society in that forum. Somebody might have, we talked about talent, thought, treasure, and time. Some people will say, okay, I don't have money. Okay, go and give your time. There's a project going on. Why don't you help out on the project? So based on that, my own definition of success is how many lives have you impacted? How many people have you impacted in and around you?
Wow.
That's my definition of
Wow,
success.
what's the definition of success? How many lives have you impacted? How many people around you have you been able to touch?
Yes.
Right? It doesn't have to do with giving money.
Not
So it
right.
has to do with how many persons you're able to reach. How you're able to reach out to the society. I was going to ask, was there a time you thought that you're not cut out for Nigeria and you want to go back, and you thought you couldn't go on in this country, you just want to, pack everything aside and move down to India? Like, was there any time you felt like that?
Never ever.
Wow.
Ask me why.
Why?
First, Nigeria is a fantastic place, and Nigerians are fantastic people. Their heart is of pure gold. What I mean by that is what they think, what they mean, and what they say is in one alignment. They don't have this politics in their average Nigerian doesn't have this politics in his mind that, oh, let me say something, but he means something and then he's thinking something else. So the thought process of average Nigerian is fantastic. So I have come to gel very well with Nigerians. That's why, apart from my biological family, I have several families in Nigeria which will never allow me to go back. Those families are my family from my Lagos Business School, my family from the Ikoyi Club, my family from the Rotary Club, my family from the Toastmasters Club, my family from the Faith Foundation, and last but not the least, the family of comedians. All the comedians in this country, we are friends. I've seen them grow from last 20 years from when they started. Some of them have come up, some of them are still coming up, some of them are beginners, but I know all of them. So these families, this are the one I'm attached to, and they never made me think even once that I need to go back. In fact, some Indians, when they come to the country, they say, okay, I'm going to spend 5 years and go back. I'm going to spend 10 years and go back and all. So when such people come in contact with me, say, oh, Pradeep, how many years have you been? I said, 27 years. Wow. When are you planning to go back? My instant answer is, go back where? And do what? I'm in my country. So where do you want me to go? And if I go somewhere, what am I doing there? Say, are you sure? I said, I'm more than sure. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going anywhere.
Okay. Wow. That's really wonderful. So for 17 years, what has been your major accomplishment? What is that big thing that you would say that, you know what, I have gotten this. This is it.
Okay.
What is the major accomplishment you've had in 17 years?
Learning from my own experiences and implementing to set up a company which can run without me. It means whether I'm physically present or not, the business should run. That I think is an accomplishment. That also has a small story behind it. One day I was sitting in my former office. My younger nephew came to me saying that, "Uncle, in your business, who handles accounts?" I said, "I do." "So who handles the finance?" I said, "I do." "Who took care of the customers?" I said, "I do." "Who does the purchase?" So he listed 7, 8 things. Everything was revolving around me. He said, "But uncle, what happens to the business if I remove you from that business?" He didn't wait for my reply. There was no reply given. I was just quiet. But that night I couldn't sleep. I was asking myself, what is this guy trying to ask me? Then I realized that the business was so micromanaged that if you bring me out of the business, the whole business collapses. So God forbid if I collapse tomorrow, the whole business has gone. And that means I don't have time to do anything else. So I now consciously decided to set up a business which can run without me. That's how doing the EMBA, the MBA from Lagos Business School came into the picture, which I invested my two years in that course. That was one of my best decisions I've taken, which has helped me set up business which can run without me. There's a book which is titled as Build to Sell.
Okay.
There was a former one which was Build to Last, but the Build to Sell, it shows you that how you can set up a business which can run without you, how you can set up a business which you can sell. But that doesn't mean you should sell the business. That means the business should be sellable. It means it should be able to run without you. So in case you're, okay, let me do something else. Let me sell this business. If you're micromanaged and there are no structures in place, you won't be able to sell the business. So all the efforts are gone. But if you have structured the business in such a way that it runs without you, you can actually sell that business.
Okay.
So one of my major accomplishments has been able to set up business which can run without me. Yes. Wow. And that will also make it scalable. So if I want to open other branches, if I want to expand them, it can be done because they don't need me as a person to be there. What they need is the whole systems, procedures, and processes to be in place.
That's you ensuring that, your member of staff are able to put things in order when you're not on team.
Yes.
That's a very, big one. That's a very wonderful one. So I want to know, when I heard you talk about, your accomplishments and all of this, is there a key thing, a particular pattern that, every entrepreneur goes through to become successful? Because for younger people who want to go into, this train, is there something they should do? Is there a particular pattern they should follow as an entrepreneur to be successful?
Yes. The one I just said, that if they're able to first consciously decide that I want to set up a business which can run without me. Because average entrepreneur has a fear that if I give up my responsibilities to my subordinates, to my team members, they will take away my business, or they will learn from there and set up another business as a competition to me and all this. Those fears are then in an entrepreneur. But when they look at a bigger picture, they should invest in training of the team member as such. Permit me to quote what my mentor always says. My mentor is Sir Richard Branson.
Okay.
He said, train your people so well that they are able to live. Train your people so well that they are able to live, but treat them so well that they don't want to live. It's a very deep statement, so which I have followed, and I'm happy it has worked. So my advice to the young entrepreneurs will be, take a conscious decision. Yes, this is what I want to do. I want to set up a business which can run without me, which means you have to set processes, procedures, standard operating processes, and checks and balances in place. Having put that, you have to empower your team. Having done that, you have to train your team. So if you're ready for that, then you will see that you will get enough time to do other activities which you're passionate about. Look at me, I'm able to volunteer at Faith Foundation. Why? Because my business can run without me.
Running.
I can go and spend time with my Toastmasters friends. Why? Because my business can run without me. I can hang around with my comedian friends. Why? Because my business can run without me. I can spend time with Koi Club where I play badminton and have my fun, exercise, sweat out. Why? Because I'm not worried too much about my business, but because the business can run without me. My people, my team is well empowered for that.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. And also, sir, I want to know, was there, for 17 years since you started, was there a particular thing you always invest in? You know, sacrifice. That's talking about sacrifice now. What were those key things you invested in? And you think that every entrepreneur who wants to be successful should invest in?
I don't think that's a difficult question to answer.
Okay.
Because if a person does not invest in himself, I go for minimum of 2 trainings in a year, whether it's locally or internationally. So I invest in myself, because you usually see people investing, they want to invest in their house, they invest in their car. No. First priority should be investing in yourself. Definitely, as a ripple effect of that, your team members should also be invested in. So send them for trainings, put them through to different courses, locally, internationally, and then you also have to invest in the community in terms of the CSR. So somebody says CSR, corporate social responsibility. Some people call it PSR, personal social responsibility. So as a corporate, what is your social responsibility on that level? That on your own level, as a PSR, your personal social, you have some responsibility towards the community. So you have to find time to give back to the society. You have to find money to give back to the society. You have to find your thought to give back to the society. You have to find your talent, give back to the society. So I invest in that. And last but not least, everybody should invest in fun moments. It could be playing your favorite sport. It could be going to cinema. It could be going for the comedy shows or whatever makes you happy. Because all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. So this is easy. I mean, this is easy, but as I said, it's easily said than done. But
yeah.
I said it's easy because I do practice it. I do practice it that, yes, one should be doing this. And as I mentioned earlier, if you do some personal social responsibility, you give back to, and you see the people being impacted, even if they don't speak, even if, just in their eyes, though usually they'll speak out, they'll say prayers for you, but even if they don't speak out, just by their eyes, you get that satisfaction, and then you want to be doing more. So definitely we have to invest in ourselves, our team, and the people around us.
Wow. Invest on ourselves, on the team, and the people around us. This is one word that we should hold from Mr. Pradeep. At this moment, we're going to take a very short break, and after that, we will come back to you. Stay tuned. Yes, we are back, and we're still with our accomplished entrepreneur, Nigerian, Indian, Mr. Pradeep. How do you deal with family and business? How do you combine the both?
I'm part of the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. I'm the committee of IPF. I'm actively at Rotary. I do startup grind. I have my own businesses. I volunteer at Favor. So this, how do you get the time? 2 things. My MBA at Lagos Business School taught me practical time management. There was no session on time management, but practically we used to have 15 minutes break, 30 minutes break. Businesses are running. You cannot use your phone during the lecture time. So during that 15 minutes break, you're saying, oops, 20 missed calls, oops, 12 emails, 13 WhatsApp messages. How do you reply them in 15 minutes? And you want to also go and freshen up. You want to go and have a cup of tea so that you're ready for the next class. In that time. So practically, we were taught time management. So when I now close my eyes, whoop, in these 15 minutes, I was able to achieve all these things. Oh, the next break was 30 minutes. I was able to achieve with all these things. It really taught us the value of time. That's number 1. So I give all credit to Lagos Business School for that. And the second most important factor which will be in that is your interest and your passion.
Okay.
If you're not interested in something, you can never find time for that. So the answer to your question that how do you balance the the family and
Your
work
business.
and the giving back to the society also.
Okay.
I have balanced it quite well to a large extent because, like, Fridays and Sundays, I hardly leave house.
Okay.
It's kind of given to them,
Like
more or less.
family.
Yes. So when some of my friends, they go and hang out on Friday evenings, they've stopped calling me. They say, Otunba will not come. Shebi is Friday, Abi. Otunba will not come. So somebody will say, oh, let me try. Otunba no go grieve. Sundays, whatever I want to do, even if I want to go out, it has to be with the family. So those 2 days are dedicatedly embarked upon by the family.
Wow. One key thing I was able to pick from what you just said is to be successful, or let's say to be at the top of your game in everything that you do, apart from business, family life and all, you have to be a good manager of time.
Yes,
Because
sure.
time is everything, right? It's very important. And okay, sir, what are the skills you think that are required to be a successful entrepreneur in this 21st century?
Okay. The most important one for me is communication skills. If an entrepreneur does not have communication skills, how does he convey his vision to his team? If the entrepreneur does not have communication skills, how does he convey to the investors that this is his idea? If he doesn't have communication skills, how does he talk to his bankers? How does he talk to his clients? How does he communicate to his business partners? So communication skill, according to me, is very, very key. You may have it inside your head, but if you're not able to express yourself, if you're not able to communicate, then it's as good as you not having that idea or that concept.
So you must be able to communicate your ideas to your team members, to people that are around you, in
your
order
clients,
your
your vendors, your bankers, your investors, so many people you come across in business.
Okay. All right. On this note, sir, to the young entrepreneurs out there and those who are thinking or nurturing the intention in mind, those with the passion to be like Mr. Pradeep, what is that one piece of advice that you would want to share with them?
Okay. My advice to them is, you want to become an entrepreneur? Fine, be an entrepreneur. But don't have that myth in your mind that, because I want to become an entrepreneur because I don't want to take up a 9-to-5 job. Because as an entrepreneur, you're on duty 24/7. In fact, in a job, you're on duty 9 to 5, but as an entrepreneur, you're on duty 24/7. And then some young ones, they have this mindset, I don't want to have a boss, that's why I want to be an entrepreneur. I lie. As an entrepreneur, you have bosses. Everybody is your boss. Your client is your boss. You go say, yes, sir. Okay. Your vendor whom you're buying your stuff, you say, yes, sir. Your investor, yes, sir. So if the young entrepreneur is thinking that he wants to be his own boss, nah lie. That one no go work.
Wow.
No go work. They make you think, say, 24/7, 365, and you will get plenty bosses. If you get mind for that, make you enter that entrepreneurship boat. Make you have that entrepreneurship mindset that, yes, I will want to be an entrepreneur myself.
Wow, what a lovely time with Otunba. Otunba Pradeep.
Thanks for your time also, Brenda.
Yeah, it was a wonderful session with Otunba Pradeep, as he has enlightened us with how that we can be successful entrepreneurs. He enlightened us about his setbacks, his success stories, all that he has been through. And you know what? He is still pushing on. In fact, he's not ready to stop. It was very wonderful to sit here with him. And do not forget to follow us on our IG page at TrepAfrica, on our Facebook page at TrepAfrica, and also on our YouTube page at TrepAfrica. This is TrepAfrica, where we bring to you accomplished, wonderful CEOs, entrepreneurs, and disruptors. Stay with us.